everybody, it's midweek check-in time, and I wanted to talk a little bit about rhythms. I know when we first started Lectio Divina, we were talking about how this is a rhythm that we get into, and we even talked about how Lectio Divina is a discipline, which is really, really awesome. Specifically, reading scripture is a spiritual discipline. But I've been having a lot of conversations lately with people who are going through Lectio Divina, and they're like, there can be a couple days in the week where I get nothing out of the scripture that I read. And what I want to say about that is it's okay. We are people of cycles. We have sleeping cycles, eating cycles, we have all growth cycles, we have all kinds of cycles that we enter into as human beings. And so I would say that in our spiritual development and even in our weekly and daily rhythms, we're going to have cycles within there too. So it's okay that if you sit down and you read your scripture, your Lectio Divina, you sit down and you do all the things, you start with the 1 minute of quiet, you read through the scripture 3 different times and you still come out with nothing. It's okay. I don't want you to feel like because of that cycle that you have to actually force yourself to come up with something that you found or saw. But I will also say this, it doesn't actually have to have anything to do with the scripture that you read. In fact, this topic today came from after I read on Monday, Joshua 10, 16 through 27, I was reminded of cycles. It has nothing to do with the reading. And actually, I started thinking about you all and some of these conversations like I shared that I've been having. People aren't necessarily always getting something from the scripture. And apparently on Monday, neither did I. But I did get this. So I want to encourage you that even if you're in a funky cycle where maybe you're just having extra fatigue or you're having a hard time concentrating or you're just not getting anything out of your scripture reading, it is okay. But because it is a spiritual discipline, I would encourage you to continue sticking with it. There is something about continuing to stick with a discipline inside of our rhythms that does help us kind of gain traction and come back around when a new cycle begins and we are alert and aware and we're ready to see what it is the Lord has for us. But don't be rigid with this thing, you guys. It's okay. The rhythms and the cycles of our growth and development in Jesus Christ, they aren't up to us. They are up to Him. And so we can be co-laborers by saying, yes, we are going to enter in and we are going to continue with something and have a discipline, but we don't have to be rigid with it. It's okay if we don't get something. It's okay if it's just something you kind of go through the motions for a little bit. The Lord will respond. He is faithful and we can trust that. So I hope that's an encouragement to you this week, you guys. Hang in there with your Lectio Divina reading, and we'll see you next week.